Hello everyone, Lid here. So this video will be a follow-up to my first video, and this is still a difficult farming. I'm doing another 100 maps, and I tweaked the setup a little bit just so we can get a little bit more out of the maps. So I will go over the changes, but if you want to know the whole strategy and whole setup, I will suggest to go to my first video about the difficult farming. And I do explain everything you need to know about the basic setup, and I'm only going to cover the changes on this video. So from the Atlas tree, this is the Atlas tree that I'm now using. It's basically the same. The only difference is now I get my 4 point, I do my 2 invitations. Basically with that 2 point, and I remove one peon node over here. After I see the calculation again, we already reached 100% chance over here. So this node over here is not really necessary. I have 3 free points, so I put the 3 point into shrine. And this basically guarantee me a shrine. And I have another 40% of here to get another shrine, which happen pretty often. But that's basically about the Atlas tree. I didn't change that much. It's just about I get more point. And the change setup is on the Scarabs. On my previous video, I'm using Influence of Horde. And the purpose of that one is to boost the altars, because altars give us a lot of quantity, card duplications, and all that good stuff. But from my comment section on my first video, a lot of people are asking about like why Influence of Horde, it's only affecting the altars, it doesn't affect the base, it doesn't affect everything else. And I'm pretty sure someone's suggesting using Monstrous Lineage, but I cannot find who it is. I mean, whoever that is, thank you for the suggestions, and that's what I'm used on this setup. So I changed the Influence of Horde with Scarab of Monster Lineage. And the logic is we're probably going to lose a little bit of altars because the Influence of Horde does give more altars, and I think on this test I do see a little bit less altars, but just a little bit. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but we do still lose a little bit of altars. But in return, we get a lot more monster density, and because of the 40% magic passes from Monster Lineage, is affect everything. So meaning there is a node for the Abyss over here, is Darkness Rising. Abyss monster have a chance to spawn all monster as magic. This will also be increased by that, and it's still going to affect altars. It's just not going to be as good as Horde. It's also going to increase the magic passes of Beyond. And there is a node on the tree, Swarming Hive. It gives a chance for the Beyond that spawn to have a chance to become a follower of Katash, and this will drop more Divination card. And with more density, it means we're going to proc more Beyonds. So overall, we're going to have a compensation as more density and more monsters to kill, and that's mean more chances to get Divination card. So that is the plan, and let's get into the spreadsheet so we can talk a little bit about the number. So from the number over here, we can go to the card sections to drop a significant amount of Dapper Prodigy. So 130 more Dapper Prodigy, and that's, I think, is pretty significant. Brings the Dapper Prodigy average become 8.2. And we are using Dapper Prodigy average as a metric to predict how much average map we need to do before we see nimis. I mean, we are talking average over here, so the result may vary, but in this test I think I get pretty normal data compared to before, and I really do not expect this to be this big because I'm never on that spectrum of luck. So the mistake is on my part. I really see this number and like, oh, this is probably a little bit above average, but no, this is like way above average. So the result on the second test is a lot more makes sense, because considering the Dapper Prodigy average, we should see a nimis card drop every 55 map average. Every time you drop a nimis, you're always going to drop at least 2 because of the pilfering. So this is me seeing 2 nimis card drop in 100 maps, and that's a little bit above the average, but of course it's not as crazy as the first session where I'm just like a way to the moon in terms of luck. And in terms of tainted currency, this is also a metric that we can use to see if we get more peon or not. This is probably not a very conclusive data to see it, but I mean, if you get more Beyond monster, you're also going to get more Beyond currency. I think that's logic kind of makes sense. So we do see increase in terms of tinted currency. So that's also mean that we do kill more Beyond monster. And for the Scarab is still the same, and currency is still the same. We have kind of a lower RNG, I think, in terms of the T0 currency. This is only 28. This one is 33. But I do get 1 sacred odds, and I do get quite a lot of annul too. 7 more annul. This one is only get 3. So it's probably just an RNG on the currency. And for the Chaos Orbs, I get a lot more Chaos Orb, and I think this is coming from the Find Delirium. This is also another thing that I try on this setup, where I'm using Find Delirium. Find Delirium is basically giving you currency. You can get Divine, you can get Exalted, Annul, and everything about currency. Previously, I'm using Jeweler because this is the cheapest one. I think I buy it like 1 Divine for 20. And I see on the market, Find Delirium is like 1 Divine for 15. So I thought like, maybe just try it out. Maybe this is good. And from this test, I mean, it's kind of okay, it's not that great. But yeah, I mean, it's also increased the cost a little bit. So, but in return, we do have a chance to get like, more define and something like that. But if you don't like it, you can just move it back into the Jawara Deliriums. Just use any of the cheapest Delirium mods. That probably will works better. And if we normalize the rate from the first encounter, like it's 10, we just input 4. Let's say that we get the same amount. We do get an increase in terms of net profits. So based on this result, I think this setup is probably the setup that I would recommend. I do also see the double protecting more consistently, so I do like this setup more than previous one. So in this one, I will label it as recommended. This is the setup that I would recommend for people to use. And I will try to find another setup. Maybe we can try to bring the average a little bit higher. I kind of want to try to find a way so the average image cost is like below 50, but I don't know if that's possible, but that's one thing I'm looking into. And if you guys have any idea, leave it in the comment below. So that's all I have for you today. I just want to share this test that I did. I think it's a pretty good result. So as usual, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. And thank you everyone for watching. I will see you in the next one.